I think as men, if you feel that you can dictate what women do with their bodies, to me that's very questionable. I mean, it sounds like you probably hate women and you probably don't have any respect for women. And I probably want to keep you away from the women in my life, because if you feel like you can determine what a woman does with her body, we don't know where you draw the line when it comes to certain things. You probably feel like you possess women. So it's very questionable to me. So, I mean, if you vote in that way, nah, probably not somebody I could vibe with.
Were you aware of Amber Thurman and Candy Miller, two Georgia women and mothers who both had preventable deaths, who likely would still be here if the bans were not in place?
Yes, living in Atlanta, I'm well aware of those situations with both of those young women. Of course, extremely unfortunate. Of course, very preventable had this abortion ban not been in place. And I think what oftentimes people neglect is it's not only the young women that we've lost, but we've lost the structure of two households, two families. So you have parents that have lost a daughter, siblings that have lost a sister, and I believe in at least one of those cases, children that have lost a mother. And again, all of this because some old white men somewhere feel like, abortion is the sin of all sins, and they don't want that to, they don't want women to have that choice. I think it's ridiculous. No, I think everybody should speak up for women's reproductive rights and women's choice, regardless of your age, regardless of your gender, regardless of your race. I think it's a societal problem, not a woman problem, or not a woman problem based on your age, and if you can give birth or not. I think women should have their rights in full, just like white men have their rights in full. So, I mean, my personal thoughts on the matter are these pro-life folks, they're so, steadfast about, no abortion, bring these kids into the world, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of whether that mother or those parents are in a position to care for the child, regardless of the health of the child, regardless of how the child was conceived. They don't consider any of that. For these pro-life people, from my standpoint, it just seems like bring the child is here, but then what happens to the child then? Decent health care, food, shelter. Like, none of this is a factor for them. Only thing that they care about is bring the child. However the child lives on a day-to-day basis in society is completely irrelevant to them. Just bring the child into the world, and whatever happens to that child happens to that child. So to me, it's a bit contradictory. You can't say on one hand that you care about life, and life is the most important thing, but you've shown through your actions and through the laws that you pass and the laws that you fight for that you only care about a certain segment of life. And it's typically only white people with money, because let's not get it, they don't care about anybody who's poor, regardless of race. So those with money, they care about them. Everybody else is just kind of a tool to help fund their life and build the society that they want to live in. So I think it's ridiculous. As a man, I fully am in the fight with women, whether it be my mother, whether it be my sisters, whether it be my wife, whether it be my daughters. The things that happen to them and cause any kind of potential harm in their life, it's going to impact me greatly. And again, I don't have to have an actual relationship, whether blood or indifferent, with a woman to feel strongly about the cause, because if it happens to a woman over there, it can happen to a woman over here that's in my family. Well, I think there's quite a few things that men can do in this fight. And I think, first and foremost, it's being vocal, speaking up, voicing your opinion, standing with women in full. It doesn't matter what your own personal thoughts and beliefs are on abortion or anything of that nature, but understanding the simple fact that the rights of women have been taken away and devalued based on this abortion ban should be enough for us as men to say, you know what, that's not cool. We're going to stand up, we're going to fight against that. I'd also say, one of the key things that we can do is vote. Vote against those that are looking to keep this ban in place. Vote against those that, think it's important that they as men can make the determination for everybody in society. I can't say that you must vote for this person, you must vote for that person, because again, the political system that we are a part of, everybody has a choice. But what I find quite intriguing or interesting is that as men that are alive on this earth, we all came from a woman. And so at a minimum, you have a mother. At a minimum in your life, you have a mother or had a mother that I'm assuming you loved, then you have a great deal of respect for. Why would you want her rights taken away? Why would you want to vote against her best interests? To me, that doesn't make sense. And again, I'm saying that on a very basic level, because the vast majority of us have mothers, have sisters, have daughters, have wives, girlfriends. And even if that's not your thing, you still, again, have aunts, you have cousins, you have friends. So why would you want to vote against their best interest, their right to do as they please, just like you get to do as you please? I don't care about what the stigma or the assumption is. First of all, most people that make certain arguments don't have any facts, don't have any statistics. We're not going to label women that choose to have an abortion just because that's their preference. We're not going to label them as being irresponsible, because as we all learn as kids, it takes two to tango. So if a woman got pregnant and that's not what she want, there was a man involved. That's just how biology works. So we're not going to place negative stigmas on women who just decide that, you know what, I'm not ready. I want to have an abortion. That is her choice for her to live with, and for her partner or whoever to support her in that decision. I think that your points will fall on deaf ears as it pertains to someone like me, because it's not your body. It's not your choice. So let women have their choice. Let women have their rights. And stop killing women based on your ignorance. We're tired of it. So, that's it. I stand with Planned Parenthood Southeast.